the situation.
That's not convincing. So the question still is, what will be convincing to you? Without a shadow of doubt, you think that's it. I'm convinced that this has to be a representation of the actions of God, and God therefore exists.
I don't think you can, in that situation, I don't think I can really answer that, because obviously I'd question it, and until I got to the point in time where I questioned it and satisfied myself that is for real, then I'd be like, okay, I can believe that. But until, it's like me saying to you, what would it make you to go and climb up that tree, or whatever it is? It would have to be something like, well, if I give you £1, you wouldn't do it, but if I give you £2 million, you'd be straight up the tree. You know what I mean? But maybe, it just depends on the actual situation.
The interesting point is, since when the existence of God was even a question?
I'm not questioning it. I'm just saying I don't understand how anybody can believe.
The existence of God is something that is undisputed. It's not even a question to question.
Why would you say that?
Okay. So the alternative option is, there is no creator, there is no God, and we are here. That's the other alternative. Does that make sense in any way, shape or form? That we are this universe, with all its complexity and harmony and precision and order and design, it's there without a God, without a creator. Does that make sense to you? Are you suggesting that things like we are, matter, space, quanta, they can just be here without an originator?
Yeah, sure.
So do you believe this universe is always there, or has always been there eternally?
No, it's evolved, doesn't it?
The universe.
Yeah, it has, hasn't it?
Has always been there.
Well, from the Big Bang. I mean, or before even that.
According to the scientific models, either there is other multiverses, again there are lots of universes before, or our universe started with a singularity. So when something changes and does things in a certain precision, like our universe shows precision to such a degree, it's like 22 decimal place precision of our constants.
Well, maybe more.
Maybe more. So that precision comes from what?
That'd be evolution.
No, evolution is just a model to explain the diversity of life.
So you got somebody like...
We're talking about matter, not life.
You've got somebody up there in a room, like working out all these figures to 22 million.
What I'm simply saying, you only have two alternatives. One is, because when it comes to the existence of a creator, originator, there are only two options.
Do you ever doubt yourself? Do you ever doubt yourself?
I don't doubt that I exist. How can I?
No, I'm not saying that you exist. Of course you exist. We're having a conversation.
No, everyone can have...
Do you ever doubt that God exists?
Everyone can have doubts in moments of their life and so on.
Do you?
Look, personally, I am convinced, beyond a shadow of doubt, that God exists for several various important reasons which can be objectively analyzed.
That isn't my question. Do you know what my question was?
As I said, everyone, including myself, we can have doubts, and I'm sure we had doubts about the existence of Creator.
Do you have doubts about God?
I have no doubts about God.
You have none whatsoever?
I just told you, regarding the existence of God, there cannot be... Look, even Allah tells us in the Quran, the book that we believe in, أَفِي اللَّهِ شَكٌّ فَاطِرِ السَّمَوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. How can you have doubt about the one who split the creation, the heaven and the earth, the one who originated and split it? You cannot have a doubt.
You're referring to a book, right? I haven't read the book.
I'm just saying, the book is just information.
You can't overload people with information. You need that bit of dialogue. Before, you're referring to a piece of the book, right? Okay. So before that book was written, could anybody have doubt then? Because they wouldn't have the opportunity to rely on that verse you said.
People have doubts all the time. You can have doubt, I can have doubt. But the question is, do we have basis of our doubts? Some doubts are baseless. Some doubts are not justifiable doubts. For example, about the existence of a creator, it's not justifiable doubt. You can have doubt, but it's not justifiable. And the reason I'm just telling you, of our universe now, there is only two options. Either the creator exists of our reality, or the creator doesn't exist. There is no maybe in between. Two options.
Yeah, that doesn't convince me though.
No, I'm saying there's only two options. Let's look at the options which says the creator doesn't exist. If there is no creator, no originator, then there should be nothing, absolutely nothing.
Why is that?
Because from nothing comes nothing. Something cannot come from nothingness. This makes no sense. If I have a wallet and I have no money whatsoever.
That's not relevant.
Listen. I have no money, no bank accounts, no friends to borrow from. Can I give you £10? I have no money.
Well, you can go and borrow it from him.
I have no one to borrow from, I'm saying. There's no one to borrow from. If I have no money whatsoever, I cannot give you any money. From nothing comes nothing. If there was nothing at one point, no creator, no originator, we would be nothing. We won't be even discussing. There would be nothing.
You're talking about something like a chain of events which has gone back, say, 500 million years.
No, you can go billions and trillions and zillions and heptilons, whatever you want to call it. The fact still remains that something like us, matter, space, right? This cannot come from absolute nothingness. Let me tell you what I mean by absolute nothingness. Absolute nothingness is...
You're assuming it's created by somebody.
No, I'm not assuming. I said there's only two options. Two options.
That's what you're saying. You're saying it's created by somebody.
No, my friend. There are only two possibilities for the existence of creator. The creator exists or doesn't exist. I took the other option. The creator doesn't exist. If a creator did not exist or doesn't exist, what should we expect? I am saying we should expect nothing. We shouldn't even hear talking about it.
Why would you expect that?
Why? Because if there was no creator to begin with, there should be nothing. Nothing in the beginning.
It could have.
So
It could have just happened.
no, wait. You cannot get something from nothingness. Nothingness has no energy. Nothingness has no space, time, matter, anything. It's simply the absence of everything.
Well, but if you take it the other way, you're saying that everything which has been created by God.
You see, we need to look at it in two different ways.
No,
One way is
you're using it at the start. You're using it at the start to say out of nothing nothing can be created, right? But then what I'm saying, all right, then okay, hold that thought for a minute. Now we've got everything. In fact, we've got everything, and that's created by one person.
No.
How is that?
You're trying to simplify things in a way that is not what I mean.
I would say you're simplifying things by saying.
I am saying this universe that we living now either has a creator or doesn't have a creator. I could go on with the option that the universe has a creator and try to reason with you. But instead, what I did was, I said, let's do the other option. The options of the humanist, atheist, those who don't believe in God, for example. If there was no creator, no God, no originator, then we should expect nothing. Because there was nothing to begin with. Because there was nothing to begin with.
No, there was everything to begin with.
So are you saying matter is eternal?
Yes.
Now, do you believe matter is eternal?
What do you mean by matter is eternal?
Things. Matter and energy are interconvertible.
No, I couldn't say that matter is eternal. All I know is like the universe has been around for a long time. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Okay, so you're saying eternal. I don't know what's going to happen.
I'm saying this universe.
I don't know what's going to happen in 50 million years.
I'm talking about the past. This universe.
You said is matter eternal,
Yeah.
and that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, is it?
All I'm saying is all I know is the history. It's gone on for a long time. What's going forward? I don't know what will happen.
No. There is one thing called
No, but
eternal
it's
with no beginning and everlasting with no end. You're not talking about. You are talking about everlastingness in the future. I'm talking about eternity in the past.
No, that's the history, isn't it?
Has the universe always been there? Always.
I believe so.
Yeah, I mean, in some shape or form, as far as anybody can calculate, probably, yeah.
So there has been always something.
Well, I mean, I can't be 100% sure, but I mean, it seems like it's gone on for an awful long time, 250 million years.
What we're saying is, basing on the principle of nothingness cannot create or generate or bring about
But how do
anything.
you know that? Yeah, but I mean, touching upon that.
Are you saying nothingness? You've observed nothingness creates and generates something.
I haven't observed anything. I wasn't around 250 million years ago.
So, are you suggesting a principle where something can come from nothing?
Something can come from nothing. I don't really know what you mean by that. Something can come from nothing.
If you have nothingness, this
Yeah, but,
agent.
I mean, you could say at the bottom of the ocean there was nothing at the bottom of the ocean, and then they found animals.
There is
down
not
there. So,
nothingness.
like,
There's
there was
something.
nothing.
Something.
Yeah, now
Something.
there is.
Something.
Now there is because we know about it.
The nothingness. The nothingness.
Yeah, but that's
The
what I'm
nothingness that I am explaining is the absence of everything.
Beforehand, you didn't know there was anything there, so there was nothing down there. Oh, there was something. Now there is.
The nothingness that I am
found it, right?
that I am referring to is the absence of everything. When you have a thing which is absolutely devoid of everything, that concept called nothingness.
Like what? Give me an example of that.
No, I am saying if you have a conceptualized understanding of nothingness.
I don't know.
Look, we do know. We know by opposites. We do know by opposites. Opposites. Something and nothing. We know by opposites. A, not A. Yeah. Something, not something, which is nothing.
Do you think how our bodies are made, how we're engineered, that it's a coincidence, or we were made perfect? Or do you think it's just a coincidence that everything was made the way it was? Well, you know, things that make it precise, like how our bodies are designed and how it's engineered.
But there are explanations.
I know it's not perfect, but it's a functioning body.
Have you got a good body?
But I would like to go even beyond life. When there was matter,
It's changed over time.
at one point life was not on Earth.
Sorry?
Life wasn't always from the very beginning.
Other animals.
Oh, I mean, well, obviously, it's dinosaurs and things like that.
No, even before that.
Well,
Even
yeah,
before
well, I mean, I
that.
don't know how
Right?
far
There was
back
no
you
life. There was no life. Life came to this planet.
Life came to what? Earth?
Yeah, there wasn't always life. When the Earth got separated from the solar system, this hot body,
By itself.
there was no life.
Okay, all right.
Is there life in sun?
Everything is always existing.
We don't think so.
Well, I know, it's the same thing as at the bottom of the ocean. We never, hold on, we didn't think there was anything at the bottom of the ocean, then we found stuff and oh shit, there's something there. So you just said, is there life on the sun? I don't think so.
We don't think
know.
so. We don't think so
Yeah,
because
we
of the
don't
heat.
know, do we?
Of course, we can't know, but
Yeah.
our scientific hypothesis goes like this, where there cannot be any life that we know of based on carbon, hydrogen, or oxygen that can survive in that extremities of heat.
Yeah, I mean, you can
Yeah.
use that for a lot of planets, yeah. I mean,
So what I'm saying is, scientists have given us models of when life originated on this planet.
yeah, they
Yeah,
all
it
agree
wasn't-
with each other.
Pretty much so on this issue, yes. Life wasn't always there from the very beginning. For example, when the Big Bang happened, they don't say there was biological life. There was no life at all. So that is why I'm saying we go before life happened, go into the very existence of matter. Either you believe in matter that was always there.
Who made God? Who made God?
When you say who
Always
made
there.
God, do you know what your question implies?
It was always there.
That means God has a beginning,
Creation.
and there was something else called time, and there is something else also that there is another being or an agent that has the power to make God.
Oh, no, it's
All of these assumptions that you're making,
No, I'm
you
not
have,
making assumptions. I'm not making
That's
any assumptions. I'm just asking questions. I'm
The
saying
question itself-
who made God?
okay. The question that you asked has all these assumptions built in. The question assumes. Listen, the
I'm
question.
just asking, who made God? Who made him or her?
The question assumes there's a possibility that God was made by something or someone. That at one point this God didn't exist and was then made by something which had power to make God. That's the question which it assumes. If your question doesn't assume all of these attributes, then you cannot even ask this question.
I'm asking you the question, who made God?
Okay, let me help you to understand what I mean by question to be a question. How many legs does this sun walk upon? 2 or 3?
The sun.
Yeah.
How many legs?
Does he walk upon? Sun walking, 2 or 3 legs.
The sun doesn't walk, does it?
I didn't ask you, does it walk? If I asked you, does the sun walk? Your answer could be, no, it doesn't. Or yes, it does. Maybe, I don't know. Who cares, right? But I asked you, how many legs does it walk upon? 2 legs or 3 legs? So the potential answers are already within the question, embedded. You have to answer either 2 legs or 3 legs. There is no third. So how many legs does the sun walk upon? 2 or 3? Is my question right? Is my question a question? A valid question?
Well, it would be if you believe the sun's got legs.
And I'm asking you a question.
I don't think the sun's got legs, so I think it's not.
So is it a valid question then?
Not to me, because I don't believe the sun's got legs.
Right. So a question has to be valid between ourselves when we ask. We should not have a question with loaded meaning within it, which we don't agree in the first place. So if you ask, who made God? And if my belief is God has always been there without a beginning, then this question is meaningless. Why? Because you're asking who brought about a creator who was always there without a beginning. You see how it becomes meaningless? Because the creator
I see where you're going with it. So you're saying that God has been around for
always
always.
with no beginning. So the question
No
of
beginning.
so the question of someone making God is meaningless. Invalid. If you affirm God is
I
eternal.
just find it hard to accept that God was around in the format you're talking about, or any.
I didn't give you any format. Do you know what I believe about God?
The format you're saying is that He's been here for like eternity. I just find that hard to accept.
There has to be something that has always been there, and this is why he already accepts that notion that you cannot have something popping out of nothingness. There has to be always something. Either this something is you call the universe, or the creator, the originator of the universe. You can narrow down to these possibilities. Something has to exist always, because if always something didn't exist, that means there was at one point in the past, in brackets, right? Because when did time begin in this question? There was absolute nothingness. And absolute nothingness, which is absence of energy, space and time and everything, cannot bring about something. You cannot. If I don't have no money, I cannot give you any money. If I have nothing, I cannot give you something. Yeah. So if now it boils down to these two options. This universe has always been there without a creator, or the creator, originator of this universe has always been there. Now you can say, look, why does it have to be a creator? It could be created by another creator. No, fine. We can go along this logic, and you can see still, look, let's suppose this universe has a creator who was created by another creator. Why stop there? Who created that creator? Well, maybe another one. Doesn't stop the question there. Who created this creator? Who created that creator?
For me, I just don't buy it.
But do you follow? When we say who created the creator, you can have a chain of creators going on ad infinity, ad infinitum, right? Without an end. If you have this infinite regress, it's known as, right? There's creator being created by another creator and so on and so forth. If you have like this, then you will be no creation at this moment, because that creation will not ever take place, because that creator to create this hasn't been created by these infinite creators yet. Let me give you an example. I want to give you a book, right?
Don't, I need to go home.
Yeah, okay. Let me make it very quickly. Now, okay, I want to give you this iPad to you, right? Say, transfer from me to you, right?
Yeah.
If there are infinite number of people in between me and you, infinite number of people, would this action of transferring this iPad from me to you ever happen? If there are infinite number of people?
I mean, we talk about like...
Let's understand this. If I want to give this to you, this is my creation, so called an action. To give this to you, bring it about. This universe to come about is an action.